6, the Bears pull out a close one to the Commanders. The Fail Mary is no longer hanging over our head. Let's get into it. Bears win 25-24 over the Washington Commanders.
All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I got on my Troy Aikman specials, man. He clearly was not looking at the game I was watching. So,
hey man, hey Jay, Plankins, man, it feel good to be talking about Bears win. Bears win.
Yes, it does.
3 in a row. 3 in a row.
The first time since 2018 with Matt Nagy. So and like I told you guys, they learning how to win. Last year or the previous years, we would have been on the other side of this victory. So it's just good to be able to see them stack some wins in a row. Be able to come out and fight adversity, the penalties. You up 13-0, and then you wind up being down 17-16, and then you wind up being down 24-16, and just to battle back. It just shows that coaching matters, and this team actually believes in the coaching.
I thought it was also big to come, out of that break and actually get some intensity going on the road in a hostile environment where last year it was, one of the most brutal losses that the Bears have had in years, and they still showed up. They played hard. Washington, when we came into the game, Washington was the #1 rushing team in the NFL, and the defensive line actually were able to neutralize them. So we had a lot of good things going, and at the end of the day, this was a team victory for the Bears.
And real quick, I'm sorry, but not real quick. I just want to piggyback off of what Plank just said. Coming out the bye week was the big thing for me, because I'm like, normally the Bears in the past, it's almost 10. Like 1 for 10. 1 for 10 coming out the bye week. So Plank, you are exactly right. Coming out of a bye week, and that's all I wanted to see. Coming out of a bye week, how are you going to perform? We still got a few injuries, but we also had the weather. When I saw the weather report when I was watching the pregame, I'm like, okay. And I think I saw y'all a text message like, I ain't expecting a whole lot of fireworks in this game because the weather is bad. But the weather wound up being not too bad. But, coming out of a bye week for the Bears to be, they looked like they were prepared coming out of a bye week.
Yeah, I thought the Bears were prepared. I thought they had a good game plan. Bears win 25-24 for those who didn't see it. Same exact score from last week when they beat the Raiders 25-24. And you know what? This team has good karma going, because even, let's just say last week, 2 weeks ago, the Bears did something they hadn't did in a long time, and they did the same thing yesterday. They came from behind, won the game, and on the very last play of the game, they did something to win the game. 2 weeks ago, they blocked a field goal to win the game. This week, they made a field goal.
They made a field goal, right?
Win the game. Beautiful. And yesterday, what I loved about it as well was the confidence that the coach showed in the players and what he was doing. He got them in position, and then he had Caleb move the ball. He was intentional. Move the ball over here because this is where the kicker wanted, and we're going to kick it. We're going to have about 3 seconds on it. We're not even going to get him a chance to get the ball. We ain't worried about no botch snap or none of that. We about to come kick this ball and get this field goal.
Well, what I like is, last 2 weeks ago when they played against the Raiders, Ben Johnson went directly to Caleb Williams and said, it's in 5 minutes left. Hey, it's your job to win this game for us. So we're going to put it on you. Yesterday, he went to Caleb Williams and said, look, we're going to count on our offensive linemen. Let them know I want you to feed the ball to the running backs. We're going to let them eat. Let's let them bring them home. And they came out. They had their best drive of the whole day yesterday on that last drive. Darnell Wright, he started really – he made some showings for himself. I'll tell you that. So
the running game yesterday was essential and crucial. DeAndre Swift, people can say what they want to say. I'm one of them. I still feel like they should have upgraded. But last night, he showed up. He was running hard. But it's easy to run hard when you see seams that you can actually run through. And that was the thing about it yesterday. He was like, "Oh my God, there's a hole right here. Let me hit this hole." And he was decisive. He put his foot in the ground. He made cuts, and that last drive, that 15-yard run in the fourth quarter with like a
Yep.
couple of minutes left, that was the one. I was like, okay, they done solidified this. But I had no doubt once we got that takeaway, this is just how much I feel like I believe in Ben Johnson because he was scheming people open all day yesterday. Caleb missed a few, but he was scheming people over. I was like, oh my God, look at this. This is great. This is great. But that drive, when they got the ball back, I had no doubt, barring a turnover, they were going to get in field goal range for Jake Moody to kick a field goal. And I was just so glad that they didn't settle for the 48. He was like,
Right.
no, we gonna keep it chugging. We're gonna keep it chugging. We're gonna keep it chugging. And to get the ball down to the 18-yard line, I believe it was the 18-yard line, where he wound up kicking a 31-yard field goal or the 21-yard line where he kicked a 38-yard field goal. That was crucial. That was crucial.
Jay, I was more worried about on that drive initially of them scoring too quick.
I was too.
Because at one point when he broke that long run, I thought like, whoa, he about to go up in here. Don't get him like no minute to have the
Right.
ball right, because the conditions bad. Somebody could slip and a receiver is
But
wide open. But you mentioned DeAndre Swift having stats down there. He rushed for 108 yards, 67 receiving yards, and one touchdown on a pass play. DeAndre Swift, as much as I beat your butt on this program since last year, I had to give you claps because my criticism of DeAndre Swift was not that he could not run. I always criticize him for not being a disciplined runner. Run to where the play is designed and see what happens is beautiful things if you run to where the play is designed. Also, I will always kind of criticize him for cutting it back inside. See that last play when he caught that pass, both of those
he was get,
defenders
he was getting
thought
ready to
he
cut
was
it
either going
inside.
to run out of bounds or he was about to cut back in because he jabbed at them. They got the tape on him. Both of them stopped like, we know what you're about to do. And when he took it straight, they was like, whoa, you weren't supposed to do that. That ain't what the scouting tape show.
I tell you what, on Swift, I always give two different grades on him because I like him as a receiver out of the backfield. He's extremely dangerous. He's fast. He's got good hands. I don't like him running the ball, but yesterday he changed my entire premise on that. He was running hard. He hit the holes exactly when he was supposed to. He put his head down and said, "Hey, if the most I can get on this one is 4 yards, then I'm gonna take the 4 yards," which is what we've been wanting him to do all the time anyway. So good job.
Yeah, Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson. And to go back to what you said, Bernard, talk about too much time on the clock. I noticed a couple of weeks ago against the Raiders where I'm sitting in my living room like, call the timeout, call the timeout. Ben's just like, no, nope, 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 nope. I got this under control. He did the same thing yesterday. I was sitting here like, okay, you need to call a timeout right here. You need to call a timeout right here. But we don't realize as we sit on our couch that a minute and 45 seconds in the NFL is a lifetime.
Long time.
And you ain't got to burn those timeouts. And granted, he went away and didn't have timeouts left over like the previous regime.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a coach that knows what he's doing. And
Yeah.
it's so evident. And the players are buying into it. They buying into it, man.
Yeah, great point. Looking at that game last night, I know about the people who seen it, but there's some stuff that I want to talk about that maybe we talked about on the text group or just stuff how I observed. One thing we gonna have to watch as Bears fans is not getting caught up in. Matter of fact, I'm gonna say the Baker Mayfield thing, where the fan base might have had an expectation that's unrealistic because he was a number one draft pick, and because of maybe personality, and thinking he's number one. These are expectations. and day one he should be Tom Brady. That's not how it works. And I think what we are finding ourselves as fans base is we haven't seen a quarterback really develop in Chicago. So once we see a good game like Dallas, we all of a sudden think everything's supposed to be perfect. Nope. Guess what? If yesterday was Caleb floor, I'm happy. Because
Right.
if that's his
Right.
floor,
Right.
that's manageable, right? Because a floor with 252 yards passing, a passing touchdown, a running touchdown, one touchdown call back on a bogus play, 2 sacks that was his fault out of the 3. I can take that as a floor, but what I can't
Yeah.
take as a floor is under 50 yards passing.
I tell you what,
I can't take that three interceptions. I can't take that as a floor. So that floor is manageable, and what we got to do is understand the gradual growth. Even when he missed a pass, was it the right read? If it was off, did he actually hit the guys in the hand, right? Because those things are fixable, right? Because you making the right read, it's hitting them in the hand. Maybe now you got to get it in front of them. Now you got to get them in stride, right? But that's what I wanted to point out. The point.
Okay. Yeah, one of the understated things that I thought about when I was watching yesterday. This game, this is the difference of a team that's coached by Eberflus versus a team that's coached by Johnson. And you saw some little nuances. This is where us football heads really get into the game. Like Caleb Williams ended up running for the ball, and I think he ran like 8 yards, and he slid inbounds.
Inbounds.
Make sure the clock kept going. Why? Because we had control of the clock, and every second that we took away from them, that gave us more of an opportunity to win. So when he stayed in bounds, what happens is the Commanders ended up taking that time out, and that was their last time out. So even if they had gotten the ball back, it would have diminished their opportunity to drive the entire field. So hats off to Johnson, and we just noticed the difference in him versus Eberflus.
Yeah, and I just want to switch it. I just want to switch it around to Dennis Allen yesterday. I
Okay.
thought Dennis Allen called his best game as a defensive coordinator for the Bears yesterday because he knows that he's not getting pressure with his front four. He did some things yesterday that got pressure on Jaden Daniels yesterday, and it worked out for them. But we got some players back. T.J. Edwards. People can downplay injuries all they want, but T.J. Edwards is a baller, and he
Yeah.
balled out yesterday. Kyler Gordon, he got beat for the touchdown, but he's trying to get his legs back. But the Bears on third down yesterday was brilliant. They was brilliant, and Dennis Allen called his best game yesterday as the Bears defensive coordinator.
Yeah, I agree, Jay. And
Because
also,
remember,
I want to
because you
point
got to
out.
remember, Washington was number one rushing team coming into the NFL, going into last night's game, and we was ranked last, dead last on defense against the rush. So they showed up yesterday. And it was at the time they needed to show up.
Yeah, I thought Montez Sweat showed up well yesterday. I know sometimes we may see like he might have missed Jaden Daniels. Hold on, that dude is not easy to tackle. Let's get that straight. That guy is fast and slippery. But you got to look at what happened. He got him off his spot. He pressured him. I don't know what his official pressures was, but I thought Sweat got quite a few pressures and pushed him and flushed him out the pocket. Also, I think he defended one pass where he batted a ball and knocked it off his trajectory. I thought he was stout in the run game. All these may not show up in stats, right? But I thought it was his best game he played this year. I'm not saying it was awesome, but I'm saying it's his best game. You knew he was out there playing yesterday. And
it was a team win. It was a team win. It was a team win. I still got a problem with our special teams because they gave up a lot of yards in the return game yesterday, which seems to be a problem this year. But incremental growth, incremental baby steps, incremental baby steps. We got to take it. We got to take it how we can take it. And the bottom line is, I don't want us as fans or us on this show to get ahead of ourselves. But when you look at the schedule, the upcoming schedule coming up, the next 5 weeks, the teams that we play have a combined 6 wins. In five teams with a combined 6 wins. Now, we talked about this Friday, Bernard, how we looked at the schedule at the beginning of the year, and we was like, oh, we got to go to Baltimore and play Baltimore on the road. Back to back after that, we got to go to Cincinnati. So now Cincinnati is without Joe Burrow. Baltimore got an L in Lamar Jackson, which I'm quite sure he'll probably be back by then. But these games that we thought was gonna be tough don't seem tough no more. But we can't get ahead of ourselves because, you know, we talk about we got New Orleans next week. People talk about that's a trap game. To me, there's no such thing as a trap game in NFL because all NFL players are in the NFL for a reason.
Yeah.
It's almost like disrespectful to call a team a trap team. But at the same time, we coming back to Soldier Field after winning on the road. And the last time we was at Soldier Field, we beat Dallas. So it's been a while since I've been to a game. It's been a while. So for New Orleans to come to Soldier Field, if we can get a victory where and start stacking some victories, this could be a nice ride. This could be a nice ride.
I tell you what, Spencer Rattler, the quarterback for New Orleans, sees Caleb Williams in his nightmares. Caleb Williams, came in as a freshman, took his spot, made him transport to another school, only to then leave to go to another school. So that's psychological damage going there. But going back to you saying this was a team win, Tremaine Edmonds, that we always give him a hard time, 13 tackles in that game. So, and at least these tackles were actually with him going forward as opposed to him dragging somebody down and them getting 15 yards and he get the tackle. So it made all the difference. Kevin Byard, he's just a good, tough player out there doing the best he could. And we even had a Jervin Dexter senior sighting. But, going back to Dennis Allen, you're right. He ended up changing his entire game plan. He didn't want any single guy, single rusher trying to make a play on Daniels. He wanted to collapse the entire pocket.
The entire pocket,
made it that much easier to tackle this beast. You had to grab that horse, man, because Daniels, he's fast, he's slippery, he's got a good arm, and dude, I've yet to see anybody catch him from behind. So I thought DA had a good plan.
You know what? I thought the game plan was as well was a good game plan because it's something how when you watch a game like that and our perception and our biases kind of distorts what's going on. If you look at it, Jaden Daniels had a red zone pick early on.
Yep.
Which kind of killed their own drive and put 3 on the board for, take away the names and just kind of describe what happened. You'd be kind of pissed off. Hey, you don't throw no red zone picks. Okay. Last play of the game for them, but they could have they was winning at the point. They was in field goal range. They just kind of like, he does get a first and end this game. We just make them burn the timeout. Or we end up kicking a field goal. He fumbles. So much as people was like, I seen people on social media, Jaden Daniels was the calm one. He was smiling. He was actually not playing like that great either. I mean, He made some plays, but if you think about it, it's the crunch time in a game that makes a difference in the outcome because other than just a lot of turnovers, games are usually within 3 to 6 points in the fourth quarter. That's why most games are really close unless one team just kind of just blow a team out because they're just not good at all. So it comes down to field goals and all that. So if your quarterback is the reason why you had 2 turnovers that led to points, your quarterback, regardless of how you make it out, he's the reason your team lost. Because he made 2 crucial turnovers that led to 6 points. They only lost by 1 point.
And I just want to expound on that, Bernard,
Mhm.
Plank. I'm not a hater. I'm really not, especially when it comes to sports. But when I look at Jaden Daniels and his demeanor on the field and on the sideline, it was almost like I felt as a Bears fan, not even a player. He was so, I just felt it was like disrespectful. My personal opinion. Even when he went to the sideline, he was laughing and kiki and ha ha. And even during the game, how he smiled and was laughing and everything. But in the end, I felt like he got humbled
Mhm.
by what happened. And in his press conference, in his own words, he was like, you know what? I got to take this more seriously. I get paid to make that play and I fumble.
He's right.
I'm not saying you can't have fun playing the game. I'm not saying that. But at the same time, when that happened, I was like, this is what happened when you get too cocky.
Mhm.
And I felt that's how Jaden Daniels has played ever since he came in the league. It is not a knock against him because you're supposed to be confident. But it's a difference between being confident and cocky.
You're right.
Mhm.
I'll tell you what, we're looking at the schedule and we're trying to see who's the next team up. And this is what we do as fans. But this year, the Bears are going to be one of those blueprint teams that no matter who we play against, this is going to be the process that we go through in order to win every game. They're going to be tight. The teams that are 0-6 that we're like, hey, we can beat them. We're going to end up down by 2 touchdowns with them and have to come out and gut it out in the fourth quarter. I'm comfortable with that because it's setting a different cadence of what we need to do to win to establish ourselves as a winning team. We're not going to blow out anybody. I don't see that in our
Well,
future.
I'm not gonna say we ain't gonna blow out nobody, but when I went to work today, everybody was like, "Your Bears got lucky." No, they didn't get lucky.
Getting
They was
lucky.
resilient. They was
Yeah.
resilient because the bottom line is going into that fourth quarter when they was down, they
Mhm.
felt, and this is the culture change of this team. They felt that we down, we got the ball, we got timeouts, we got the coach, we can score. It's a difference it's a difference between being cocky and just being resilient. And that's what the Bears showed last night. They showed resilience because they could have folded. They
Yep.
could have folded. We are 13 nothing, and now we down 24-16. They could have folded. The old Bears teams would have folded.
Mhm.
Yeah. Hey
But
Jay, like
because of this coaching staff, they didn't.
yeah, because when people say it's luck, I think they're just used to the Bears losing. And if you think about it, only time I call an interception luck is when maybe the ball is tipped and it's
It's
up in the
tipped.
air,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And it's just kind of floating and you
Yep.
kind of get it, or
Look what
you
I
just
Good
found.
but
defense.
Look
right,
what I
that's to me
found.
that's kind of luck, right? Because you don't know who gonna come down with that.
Right.
But in this case, the defense, the defender played the ball is a good
Mm-hmm.
defensive play. So that's
Mm-hmm.
not luck. It's him scouting it and playing good defense. He got that. The other the other things that the Bears did were preparation, good preparation. If things had went the Bears' way, the Bears would have been up like 21-0, right? So you
Yep.
can't say luck. If you really think about it, Washington was lucky they wouldn't get blown out. That's what the luck
Yep.
was at.
You're
The
right.
Yep.
luck was on that
Yep.
they wasn't getting blown out.
Yep.
The luck was on
Yep.
their side that when Roma Dunze caught that touchdown, they called his bogus flag. That
Oh
was
my.
a touchdown. That's the luck, right? You had a couple
Because
of other plays that we could question that we could say that we was playing against that. I hate blaming stuff on the ref, but it was some stuff we felt like we was playing against the refs.
Mhm.
But those are the lucky plays to me that they got away with. Then some was self-inflicted, right? Where we had the lining up offside by DJ, and we had the play that kind of backed us up into their own end zone. Uh, we had about maybe 9 penalties, 8 to 9 penalties, about 80
nine
some yards. We got
penalties,
to clean that
nine
up.
penalties, 84 yards. But I'm gonna tell you, it was some bad calls. If we're gonna go
Yeah.
to the refs right now during the show, it was some bad calls. That call on
Mhm.
Coastal Loveland, the offensive pass interference. How you gonna call offensive pass interference when I'm coming off the line and I'm pressing the DB, and he turns, he flips his hips to run because he's thinking I'm going down the field.
Mm-hmm.
How was oh it was the calls yesterday was egregious. That call against Theodore Benedict where they say he didn't line up on that, that was egregious.
Mm-hmm.
Egregious. Because that took a touchdown off the board.
Mm-hmm.
But they said this was the worst a refereeing crew in the NFL.
And the worst
So
announcer. So we had
well well we can go on and on. We can go on and on about that.
Hey,
Because I
Blake, how did you
swear.
think Theo Benedict played? What was your perception of his play?
Well, actually, in looking at Theo Benedict, that dude, he doesn't get a lot of credit for being a mauler. He's somebody, especially in the run game, he's coming out at you. Got fire in his eye. He's looking to make that first and second level block. And he's kind of just holding his own on pass blocking, which is pretty much what the most the offensive tackles do for pass blocking anyway. So he did a much better showing. Physically, he is so much more superior than Jones. It's ridiculous. He's a strong guy. He's a physical specimen. And just having him out there, I kept looking at some of those runs. He would end up pulling and blowing that hole open. So he made a significant difference in the running game as well as the passing game. So my hat's off to that young man.
Yeah, Darnell Wright was my guy last night. Ooh,
Ooh.
and like I said, I just rewatched the game again, and Darnell Wright was blocking two people. You get two for the price of one with Darnell last night. He was getting to the second level like I haven't seen a lineman get to the second level for the Bears in a long time. And and if you notice during the stretch of the game where they needed some yards on the ground, they was running to the right side where Darnell Wright was at. And just to see on in the fourth quarter on those runs that DeAndre Swift had, you had DJ Moore in there mixing it up blocking. You had Darnell Wright in there. So it was like this team just believes. And when you got a coach that you can believe in, it makes a difference. Even on the touchdown run by Caleb. Caleb said when he called the play, he was like, he's learning to be like, Coach, you calling this play? And he was like, you know what? If he calling this play, he think it's gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
That's the mentality that this team is getting. And again, like I said, I can say it over and over again. This team is learning how to win. And when you win these last two games, when you win games like that, it, it it snowballs. It's like, yeah, we believe in him. We can win these games, and it's a culture change. And if you can believe in your coach and just stay the course, it can be beneficial.
I tell you what, I rewatched that game this afternoon as well, and I specifically looked at Darnell Wright, and on that second level, a couple linebackers, and of course DBs, they made some career decisions. So he made the first block, and he would look to make the second block, and those guys just say, "Hey, I'm
I'm not having
getting
it.
up out of
I'm
here."
getting out the way. Yeah,
He
yes,
didn't even have to
yes,
touch him, but that's a
yes,
good block, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Put his
yes,
hand out there, and they was like, "No,
yes,
I don't want none of that. No smoke."
yes, yes,
You know what? This
yes.
is what I have to say about the blocking as well as on screens. I remember when we first year we started, one of my things was the Bears could not run the screen. The Bears run screens good. Actually, when the Bears are setting up screens in that game, man, it was so beautiful to see them guys line it up. Now, only thing I will say, and they probably gonna go over it on film study, the backs need to slow up a little bit and let the blocking get in place. Because there were a few times where they caught some screens and the back or whoever it was took off and got in front of the guys too fast, right? Because that's why they out there. They out to take out the guys up the field. But man, some of them screens, it was 3 or 4 guys out there blocking. And you're like, man, there's only 5 guys on the line. Like, how they all get there and the quarterback is able to throw? But when you look at it, they was pulling guards from the other side. The tight end was coming. As a matter of fact, I think they threw a screen to Komet. Komet did it. He got where Komet got a screen, and he actually needed to let the screen blocking get set up. If I remember correctly, he kind of ran it too quick. But that's just part of learning process and a growing team gelling together. But man, those screens were that blocking
And if
was
y'all,
like, oh my god.
Yeah, Monangai did a good job on his screen run too.
yes,
He sure did.
I'm gonna tell you, if y'all can get a chance to run it back and just look at the wide receiver blocking in this game, I was on cloud nine, and even Monangai on one of the pass plays where he was in pass pro in the backfield, he took on a rusher head on and was like, "I'm here, I'm here." Those are the little things that people don't realize that makes a big difference. But the wide receiver blocking in this game last night, them guys was mixing it up. They was mixing it up. I'm talking about from Zacchaeus to Adunze to DJ Moore. They was mixing it up in there. And the running game can't be successful if them guys don't do their job. And they did their job last night.
I looked at it, and the offensive line was so dominant that every running back that we gave the ball to, that includes a couple wide receivers, they made positive yards.
Positive yardage.
There was one play they had Roshan Johnson in. It was 4th and 1, and I was like, okay, give him the ball.
Roshan Johnson
the ball. He was able to run 5 yards and turn around. I was like, wow, I haven't seen the Bears block like that since probably, the 2000 Bears or whatever. But, that makes all the difference.
Yeah. Ben Johnson's offense, and the sad thing about it is it's a work in progress. We still ain't seen the best of it yet. We 6 weeks in. We still ain't seen.
We need
It's
some
almost
training.
like it's almost like he's sprinkling every little thing every week. Like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna feature this guy this week. I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do this. We haven't even seen the best of this team, and I still feel like this Bears offense is they're gonna score 40 plus in the game this year, which we haven't seen in a long time. But this offense is gonna score 40 plus in the game this year. I can't tell you which one it's gonna be.
Score? What is the average score, like 20, 25? Because I want to say
Right now,
every game.
Right now, I think they in the 24, 25 range. I know last week before this game, before the Washington game, our offense was ranked 17th in the NFL, and that was overall. I'm not saying scoring because I don't have the stats in front of me to see what they are scoring overall, but they was 17th overall. And what we've always said on this show, that all we need is our offense to be middle of the pack. 17, it ain't the top 15. It's right at 17. There's 32 teams in the NFL, so we talking about 17. So if we can climb a couple of more stairs, we right there.
Okay.
Well, I had also to Tyreek Stevenson yesterday. This guy, he played a heck of a game yesterday, and he played such a good game. Nobody remembers hearing anything about him yesterday.
Nope.
From a mental standpoint, that is mental growth. So he went from the guy poking his fingers in people's eyes and messing around with the fans and whatever, to actually just getting out there and playing football, and he made a difference. You didn't see them. Jalen Daniels didn't throw any passes over to his side of the field. Everything was Nahshon Wright, who don't get me started with that guy.
I was just gonna say, can you imagine this defense with Jalen Johnson?
It'll be a little scary.
That's the piece that the Bears are missing. They missing Jalen Johnson. If DJ can't go this week, Luther Burden is going to have a breakout game. He is close.
He had a breakout game yesterday.
And he real close. And again, I said it on this show. I have a bet with a guy that I work with that Luther Burden is going to lead this team in touchdowns. And it's only week 6. But I'm still holding that, because that catch he made yesterday with the wiggle, his whole thing is after the catch. Let me secure the catch, and after that, I'm gonna get mine. And that he showed it. He showed it again yesterday. But Luther Burden, if he's implemented into this offense, he's really going to be a weapon for this team.
Yeah. Hey, Jay, see, the reason I brought up the scoring, because even though the Bears have gotten turnovers, if I recall right, there's only been one score by the defense, which is by Nation Wright, which was the pick 6 in the Vikings game. So the Bears offense have actually scored the points that they're needed as far as that. And that's with a team that's receiving heavy penalties. And also, we all look at the game and there are missed opportunities. Like, for example, there was a throw to Luther where he's walking in the end zone. It was kind of low. It was kind of like right at below his, between his knees and that low area, right in it was close in the red zone. But it wasn't a great throw, and he wasn't able to corral it. But if it was a better ball placement on that play, I think it was Luther. Was it Luther, Jay? I hope I ain't mixing it up on him. He would have walked in on that play. So that's even with us having miscues, we're still averaging about 25 points a game. So you're always going to have mixed cues. What do you mean? We can't act like that's not going to happen. That is going to happen. I mean, every quarterback is going to miss some plays. There's going to be some drops. But that's a good sign, right? Because we have been a team that always been the laughing stock when it came to offense, right? I mean, we won games in the past only because our defense shut somebody out, and then they might even had to score the touchdowns. We'd be like, man, you get a pick, it got to be a pick 6 because we ain't seeing that 50-yard line.
They are who we thought they were. Okay,
right. Right. Just think. Over the last 3 games, we got 11. We got 11 takeaways
in 3 games.
We got 11 takeaways, but our point differential is only +2, which means that we're getting a lot of takeaways, but we're not capitalizing.
You're not capitalizing
on the takeaways.
Right.
That sounds like really good defense.
That sounds like pretty good defense. But we got to capitalize. Just like last night. We wind up getting the ball on Washington's plus side after the turnovers, and we wind up kicking field goals. And as we was texting each other last night, like, we got to put the ball in the end zone. We can't settle for field goals. We settle for field goals, and then you see Washington have a couple of explosive plays, and now they got the lead. So you have to capitalize on the turnovers, and when you get them in plus territory, you have to score touchdowns. But again, like I say, this is a work in progress. It's not going to happen overnight, but I like the trajectory that we're trending on.
Yeah, I do too. And I agree with you, Jay. You gotta capitalize on that. One thing I always say is still make sure you're playing the game that's playing out in front of you. Yep. Because in the game like yesterday, even though you was getting those turnovers and you was only getting field goals, the other team really wasn't doing anything. They were just piling up yards. It wasn't doing anything, kind of like the Raiders were, right? They were piling up yards, stats, but it wasn't converting into points, because one of the things that we would have said if they had somehow lost this game, we would have talked about when they had that 4-1 in field goal range. Not only did they not call a pass and run play, and they had Roshan in there, they tried to be cute. They ended up having a botched snap,
and
ended up turning it into a sack. And if they had lost by 1, if they had lost by what? It'd have been 2 points, right? If nothing else happened, you would have lost by 2, and we would have been saying we should have went for that field goal, right? So one thing you have to do is don't pass up. If you're not on, to me, momentum is what matters, right? If you move the ball on first, you move the ball on second, you move it on third, you got short, you probably go for it on fourth. If you're going backwards on second, get nothing on third, you better take that field goal, because you have no momentum that proves that you're going to all of a sudden get fourth. Get the 4th down conversion, that you don't have momentum. Then you have to know your people who keep up with the stats, how successful have we been in this game on 4th down conversions? You may not have been that successful in the game doing it, so it might not. it might not magically happen. That's the only thing I'm just saying. It might not magically happen. I don't know.
Which is why I hate when they went for it on fourth down and they pass the ball. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
DeAndre Swift is having a great game.
Yeah.
Monangai was finding space. We had a Roshan John sighting that found some space. 4th and 1. Stop trying. I text y'all. Stop trying to be cute. Stop trying to be cute. You're not that team yet. You're not that team. You still trying to learn how to win. Stop being that team. Just do what works and get the first down.
Hey, let me take a second to raise a glass to Jake Moody.
Jake Moody. I was just getting ready to say that.
4 field goals right off a doggone bus.
This dude said he was learning.
Walking downtown, somebody said, "Hey, can you kick?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "Come with us. We're on our way to play in DC." And even though, okay, he had some struggles and he was a high draft choice and all of that stuff.
3rd round pick.
This dude has a leg. So as far as all the rest of his confidence, I'm gonna take him and his leg for longer kicks, because that's something that the Bears don't have the ability of doing now. I think Cairo Santos is probably a little bit more accurate, but I don't know. Right. This dude hit 4 out of 5 in an NFL game. I got my hats off to that young man. Good job.
Hey, this dude said, I was learning my teammate's name on the sideline doing pregame. He was like,
there you go. As long as you know the guy that's blocking for you, that's all that matters anyway.
But they showed us some love. Even I don't know if y'all saw the post game in the locker room, but he was just so thankful, man. He was just like, I just thank my offensive line first of all,
whoever
they are, for being able to, have a clean snap and have a clean hole. So this dude was so humble, and as an Ohio State guy, he's a Michigan guy, so. Hats off to him. Hats off to Jake Mooney. I was just gonna say that, Plank.
And he hit the last one after having the previous one blocked.
Well, blocked. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
and the field goals in the 3 that he hit prior to that, they was in the 40 range.
Yeah.
So when DeAndre Swift got that 15-yard run, I was just like, okay. They just set him up, and then Caleb got up there, he got the snap, and then moved the ball to the center of the field. I'm like, this is so strategic. This is so we're not used to this.
I can get used to
it. We are not used to competent football like this. And that's what I watched last night. And like I said, my guys at work was talking about the Bears got lucky. No, the Bears were resilient. They were resilient last night. And that's what I liked about the win last night.
Hey, did we throw enough shade to Troy Aikman? Because that dude got on my nerves at every level. I was just so tired of hearing his voice.
Well, the Bears messed up his parlay.
Right.
Yeah,
and the good thing,
right. Well, he kept talking about the kicker. He said he missed the last kick. I said, but he made the 3 before that. I'm like, wow, that's one way to look at it.
Well, the good thing about that, we ain't got no more Monday night games, so we ain't got to deal with him. We ain't got to deal with him for the rest of the year, because he definitely he was so biased last night. He was really, really biased last night.
Wait, was this the same Troy Aikman that started out 0-11 at Dallas?
Yeah. And I felt like Joe Buck was really trying to like reel him back in.
He was.
He would say something, and Joe Buck would be like, "Yeah, but this, yeah, but that." But Troy Aikman was so negative. And as a fan, I look at it like, damn, why you dogging my guy? But as a player, I would take his feedback and be like, okay, you saying this, okay, I'll take that as feedback. But he was a real negative Nancy last night.
I don't know. He reminded me of your uncle always talking about, I used to run way fast. Really? Right. I ain't seen your name. Okay.
Yeah, I know we were talking about how negative Troy Aikman was. Like, I don't know if he was messing up his parlay or what the deal was, but he definitely headed in for Caleb last night. And I wanted to bring up some of Caleb's stats to kind of see what y'all thought about his performance. Caleb was 17 to 29, 252 yards passing, one passing TD, one interception, a passer rating of 98.6.
Interceptions.
I was gonna say what?
No, zero. I'm sorry, zero interceptions.
Okay, okay, because you showing one
That's supposed to be.
interception.
I'm
I'm like,
sorry.
I ain't seen no interception. No, I was
That's
about to
supposed
get
to be.
mad.
I'm
Like,
sorry.
what is this?
That's supposed to be a passing, a running touchdown.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Let
okay.
me clean that up.
Man, Frank, we was looking at each other like, wait a minute.
Yes, when did that happen? Let me fix that. But
No,
anyway,
he played a good game. He played a really good game. And, you know, none of these games you're going to have people that just look good from beginning to end, with the exception of Patrick Mahomes. And he didn't even look that good no more either. So we're going to have some ugly wins, but I'll take a W anyway.
And again, if you look at these stats, people say 17 to 29. Well, he missed 12 passes. Yeah, but he threw for 252. Threw a touchdown and ran for one. Passer rate 98. Completion percentage 58, which is not where you want to be because Ben Johnson said during training camp he wants Caleb to be close to 70. And he's going to get there. But if you look at the stats, and y'all know me, I'll be like, stats don't lie. That's a pretty good game on the road against in a hostile environment. Those are pretty good stats with weather conditions. Because we talk about windy and rain.
Yeah.
Those are pretty good stats to me.
And we still missing the best throw that he made of the night when he threw that touchdown to Adunze.
Adunze, yep.
So,
yeah. I think. I did see the comment about Christian. We'll be back Thursday. Christian and I talking about, and if y'all want to come, we're gonna be talking about Caleb Wynn's performance in this game and Raiders game as well, because we didn't do a show to kind of break down. I thought it was a good performance by him. Of course, there was some missed throws. It's a learning curve, but like I said, hey, if that's his low, I'll take that. Right, because the best stat a quarterback can have is wins. I'm telling you, perception of you winning and perception of you losing change the way people view you. No, the best quarterback in the league, hands down, last year probably was Joe Burrows. Joe Burrows was not in no conversation about MVP because his team was losing. His team didn't make the playoff. Right? He had about 45 touchdowns. I think he had about 45 passing touchdowns, single numbers in interceptions, I think. But guess what? He's not in no MVP conversations because why? The team doesn't win. So the best that a quarterback can have is wins. And our quarterback has been able to win. He seemed engaged. The guys are confident in him. One of the things I'm liking is him and DJ on the bench together. It looked like, I forget the quarterback coach name. He used to play for Ohio State.
Barrett.
Yeah, TJ Barrett.
TJ Barrett.
You see the QB coach actually talking to him. Last year, you didn't see anybody talking to him as far as coaching. And once in a while, early on, you saw the dumb head coach smiling, and he wouldn't really say anything. I mean, because they said he wasn't really verbal. But you see people talking to him, right? And even this is a big thing, man. If you think about a quarterback, I was talking to somebody today. You have your keys in your hand, drop them on the floor, pick them up. That's about how long they have to make a decision in a live play. 2.5 seconds. So in that amount of time, by the time that ball touch your hands, that's about as much time as you dropping your keys on the floor, bending over, picking them up. You have to decipher what coverage they in, what routes they did. If you put a guy in motion, maybe his route changed to a DB bailing out, to somebody blessing, and now a 300-pound guy coming at you trying to knock your head off.
One of the points you just said was really astounding to me. How do you get to be an offensive coordinator in football and you can't communicate? That makes absolutely no sense to me. So the Bears have an offensive coordinators that are looking, you got the quarterbacks on the sideline whatever you're doing, the least you should be able to do is go over there and talk to them. Hey man, what are you
Right.
seeing? What's in your head? Hey, you see that blind in aisle 12, whatever. You need to have some ability
Yeah.
to talk to him to take his mind off of whatever's going on in the field. So
And this is why, you we Bears fans, so we always believers. But this is why you can be a believer of this coaching staff. This coaching staff that they put together here is competent. And it
Mhm.
shows just them coming out the bye week prepared. The
mm,
first couple of drives, I was like, okay, this looks so different than the previous regimes when you coming out the bye week and you getting your doors blew off. This was so much. That's all I was wanting to win, but all I was saying to everybody, like, I just hope the Bears can come out looking competent after a bye week. And that's what
they
happened.
calling
And they
timeouts in
did.
the first half. That
Right.
something that
Right.
simple. We didn't see that the whole last year.
Just just
Right.
just competent football
Yeah.
at the pro level. At the pro level. We ain't talking about college, we talking about the pro at the pro level. If we can see competent football, then I'm okay with that.
Christian,
Ben
I don't
Johnson
know
is
if
the
Ben
best offensive
Johnson is
man.
the best offensive mind the Bears have ever had. George Allen gave
Yeah,
the
yeah,
read
yeah. He might be. He might be. Hey, Christian, I'm with you. Christian, I'm with you because I came home from work today and that game was on, and I was like I was in the film room. I had to like the coach's clicker because I was really just fast forward and rewinding because I'm looking at all these route concepts that Ben Johnson had. Oh, it was so sweet. It was so sweet, and I was like, oh my God, this is what I'm talking about. Those they had a pass where he came out the slot. He was on the shallow. You had Luther Burden on the middle, and you had DJ Moore on the top. And it just opened up like the sea. And I was just like, this dude is wide open. This is what offense looks like. So I'm going to agree with you, Christian. This is probably the best offensive man I've seen in Chicago in a long time. And I'm not trying to relive the '80s where we had the offensive coordinator in the '80s that was actually pretty good. I can't call his name right
Ron
now.
Turner.
No, that was in the '90s. Ron Turner was in the '90s. He was pretty darn good too. But
Okay.
Ben Johnson scheming people open the way he did last night was phenomenal.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, it was, man. It's good to see the Bears offense look like they're in this century, right? And because we just seen
Finally,
Bears offense most of
finally,
our life, that we're still trying to play the formula that won us the Super Bowl in 1985, right?
three
That
yards in the
formula
cloud of
worked in
dust.
the 80s. That formula doesn't necessarily work today. I ain't saying you don't get a team that eventually plays good defense and they just win because they shut everybody down and the
Get off
quarterback does
the running.
that haven't really happened in a while. The last time you probably had that really just happen, I'm just saying where the quarterback just totally sucked. Man, and I can't even say he even sucked at the time. Flacco probably with the Ravens, but they was running the ball well and the defense was dominating. But that still he played good that year. Flacco actually played good that particular year. So I can't think of any time the last 10 years where a team offense just totally sucked and they won the Super Bowl. I
Yeah,
can't. Yeah, I mean, NFL has changed. Hey, y'all
It
want to
has.
get some scores before we get out of here?
yeah. I
Yep.
want to get you talk about some grades. First
Yeah,
of
some
all,
grades.
okay. First of all, and I said I wasn't gonna do this, but I just need to, just because I'm so passionate about this. Fans, if y'all watching, if y'all post something in Bears Banter Talk Show Facebook group, I want it to be original. I don't need nobody copying and pasting some from other groups
Mm,
and dropping it in our group like it's your own thought.
mm.
I need originality. I need originality, and I do believe, and I have to ask, I will boot you out the group. I need originality. Don't bring somebody else's thoughts, copy and paste them, and put them as your own for likes and clicks. But with that said,
Professor Beasley said, cite your source, otherwise it's plagiarism. You should know better.
Hey, look at that record, Jay. We killing it. Everybody got to
We
get
in there.
wrong going on.
We're in there. But with that said, I'm going to give the offense a C. I take that back. I'm sorry. I take that back. I'll give them a B only because of the ground game. And I still feel like we got stuff to clean up, even with the bad refereeing officiating yesterday. We still got some stuff we got to clean up. And Ben Johnson said it, and I ain't plagiarizing, but Ben Johnson said in his post game last night, like, we are 3-2 with 9 penalties for 84 yards. Imagine if we clean that up. Imagine if we clean that up. So I will give the offense a B. I'm going to give the defense a B plus because Dennis Allen was able to do a lot more yesterday with the couple of additions that he had, and he schemed for this running game because he went into this game thinking like, okay, we 32nd against the run, they number 1 against the run. Oh my God, I got to do something. And he brought some blitzes. He did some things, some stunts and some twists. He did some things yesterday, and it worked out. You know, we had 3 takeaways. You know, Brisker with the interception, and like you say, he played the ball. That wasn't like no misplay. He played the ball and got the interception. You know, TJ coming back along with Kyler Gordon was good. For the special team, I'm gonna give y'all C minus. And I'm gonna say that with a caveat because I want to take the kicking game out of special teams if I can just for this week. Can I take the kicking game out of special teams? Because we gave up a lot of yardage. We gave up a lot of yardage on kick return yesterday. McCaffrey, that one of those last kickoffs, he got it down to like the 43-yard line. So I'm gonna give them a C minus, but the kicking game. Oh, I'm just gonna say Jake Moody. I'm gonna give Jake Moody A minus. Can't give him a plus just because he had 1 block, but I'm gonna give him an A minus because, dude, you've been on the practice squad and you got called up yesterday before the game. Didn't even know who your teammates were, so to speak. So I'm gonna give him an A minus for that. The coaching staff, I'm gonna give them an A because they were resilient. They never feared like, oh my God, we down. What are we gonna do? We weren't looking at the play clock like, should I call the timeout or should I not? So I'm gonna give the coaching staff an A.
Okay. Offense, I'm giving them a B minus. I like the running game. We cut down on a lot of those penalties, even though the referees threw a couple of penalties on us. I'm not holding that against the team. They looked a whole lot more confident, and it's almost like I'm giving them a B minus because of expectations of what I think they're going to look like when they finally put it together. But I'm thinking they got a lot of other things they can clean up. All of the running backs went forward. That's a tremendous change. We had a good running game. Offensive line looked really good. Defense, I gave them a B. 3 turnovers is always good. Nashawn Wright needs to get out of there and go to witness protection program. That dude got burnt every time I looked up. Somebody was catching passes on him. So as soon as we get Jalen Johnson back, I think it's going to take us to another level. And special teams, I gave them a B as well. You know, you get a kicker that's not familiar with your team, your process, comes out there and kicks 4 out of 5. That's a tremendous win. So I'm going to take that. Coaches all together, I give them a B minus.
Okay, B minus. Okay.
We at least got the win. So,
hey, I'm gonna start off with. Let me find a grade. I'm gonna give the offense a B minus. They scored above the league average again. Don't matter if those points right at the end, if you got them in field goals, it don't matter. They all add up to 25 points. So there's a few little things to clean up. Sky's the limit for this offense. Once they clean those things up, let me go to the defense. The defense, I'm gonna say, even though statistically it looked like they were moving the ball doing this, but they still held that team down pretty good. Got 3 turnovers. I would give the defense a B. that without that blown coverage, they don't even get that last touchdown. That was just blown coverage on that play. So they would have, held that team to about 16 points or something like that. And matter of fact, Brian kind of helped them as well. Special team, I'm gonna give them. And I agree with you, Jay. They gave up too much yards, gave them too much good starting position, and you also did have one blocked field goal, but you made some major field goals and all that. I'm gonna give you a B minus on special teams. Coaches did an excellent job in the bye week. They got stuff out of these players that I didn't think some of them had it. I didn't know they could block that good in the run game. I didn't know DeAndre Swift could actually hit holes like that. I saw growth in Monangai. Defensively, I seen Allen adjust from game 1 or 2 where he couldn't hardly, not game 1, but game 2 coming forward. A couple of games he couldn't get no pressure. He kind of made his life a little hard last night. I think they did a good job on the run game. So I got to give the coaches an A.
Okay.
Yep. And we had our scores, man. Me and Jay 4-1, Plank, Guy, and Quick are all 3-2. And man, we coming up to the Saints game this weekend. Jay get a chance to get back out in Soldier Field. Man,
It's been a long time, man. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. I haven't been to Soldier Field. What was it, September 20 something? It's been a minute. It's been a minute, but it's cool to have these breaks in between like that because it's just so much preparation for like the tailgating and all that stuff. So it's cool to have this break, but Soldier Field gonna be off the chain Sunday. Best believe it's gonna be off the chain because everybody's gonna be excited. Everybody's gonna be excited. So I'm looking forward to it.
Man, you know what? If this season keep going the way it's going, and we know it's gonna keep going that way, ain't nobody gonna be selling their tickets like they was the previous years where y'all give them away. Right. Y'all let's say, hey man, y'all want to go to this game, man. I don't even want to go. Right.
Right.
The people ain't gonna. And also, I want to note this: Mike Patterson and Mark Chin and Bears Banter Talk Show group, they're going to do a viewing party for the Bears game Sunday. It starts at 11:30. If you're in the Bears Banter group, either look for Mark Chin's post or look for the event where it give you the details. It's going to be food there. He asking for a little minimum donation. He has the menu and everything. They're going to be watching it at the Yacht Club on Yep, on 74th, I think 7400 South Roberts, something like that. You know where it's at, right? Like South Shore. But if you're in the group, you'll see all the details. And hey, please come out. I'm not sure if we'll be able to do the podcast there, but we still want you to support the group. We may still be there, but we may not be able to do the podcast there. We'll see because it's a whole lot of technical things when you do it in person that become challenges, right, for a podcast, right? Because we don't have all, the microphones and the big speakers and all that stuff and the big screen to be able
Mark Chin is cooking, man. So that's always worth it, man. That dude can fry.
Yeah. Oh, here's Mike put the address 641
South Roberts.
Hey, thanks so much, Mike. I know you've been asking for about a year or two of us coming and doing something over there. And I really appreciate you, Mike, offering up your spot and so for the people in the group that haven't met each other, you get a chance to meet each other. We get to high five each other, those great moments, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Hey, did we get anybody new subscribers? I'm just trying to make sure that everybody going on this ride with us this year. Don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah, we got 7 last week or week before last, but I just got a feeling that as the Bears continue to win, people might start pressing the button.
That's fine.
I want them to press the button, but I'm like,
press the
bandwagon. Press the button. You in or you out, baby? You in or you out?
Hey, we'll be back in a few days talking about the pregame for the Saints game. We got go do our scouting work and see what the Bears need to do to win this game because there's no such thing as an easy victory in the NFL.
Not in the NFL, baby.
Not in the NFL.
Any given Sunday.
Sunday.
Hey, y'all got anything else before we close out for the night? I mean,
Nope.
anything else?
Bear down. Good job.
3 wins in a row, baby. I'll take it. Let's keep the momentum train moving.
And let's
Yes,
shut up
sir.
Corey Aikman again. Okay.
Yes, sir. Till next time, bear down.